St. Patrick's Day is more than shamrock, shillelaghs, green bagels, and beer. It's a time to celebrate the first Christian missionary to Ireland. Well, joining us with some insights is Christian historian William Federer. He's author of the book St. Patrick, the real story of life and times from tragedy to triumph. Bill, it's good to talk with you again. So many people think St. Patrick was Irish, but he was actually British. So what's the biggest misconception that people have about the patron saint of Ireland?
Well, Patrick was kidnapped about 16 years old in 405 AD and taken to Ireland. Now, Ireland was ruled by Druids. That's where we get Halloween. They believed in cutting off heads and that the woods were inhabited by spirits that constantly needed to be appeased. And the warriors there, the Romans called them insane, that they would get pretty crazy in their fighting. Well, Patrick was a slave for 6 years, has to tend sheep, and then he starts praying, and the Lord speaks to him in a dream. And he said, he wrote in his confession, which is something he wrote later in life, after I came to Ireland, every day I had to tend sheep. Many times a day I prayed. The love of God, his fear came over me more and more, so that in a single day I would say as many as 100 prayers. And the Lord opened the sense of my unbelief, and I converted to the Lord my God, who comforted me as a father would his son.
Patrick was taken captive by Irish raiders.
The reason they didn't kill him was that he was valuable. Slaves are a valuable commodity.
He probably thought that he would never see his home again, never see his parents, never see his family.
It was a one-way ticket to the unknown.
Patrick endured a dangerous voyage across the sea to the eastern coast of Ireland.
The Roman Britain view was Ireland was a place of barbarians at the end of the world.
Clearly, at this point, there's some sort of market for British slaves in Ireland, and Patrick himself tells us that there are many, many of his countrymen who are also slaves in Ireland as well.
Tug me.
Get going, boy.
Celtic people did not work with slaves the same way that the Romans did. They treated their slaves pretty badly, like cattle, and would have worked you until you died.
Particularly as a non-Irish slave, he would have been at an even greater disadvantage because he wouldn't have been recognised almost as a person. Presumably it is a sort of meant to be slavery for life.
We had pulled back from God. We did not keep his commandments. And we did not listen to our priests who kept on warning us regarding our salvation. And so the Lord poured upon us the heat of his anger. and dispersed us among many peoples, right out to the very ends of the earth, where now my utter insignificance is seen among these men of an alien land.
He begins to conclude that this has happened because I deserved it, basically, and this happened to shake me out of my complacency and to shake me out of a way of life I was living in which God didn't matter for me.
The idea that he was now a slave is the world turned upside down.
I remained in death and unbelief until I was truly punished, and in truth brought low by daily deprivations of hunger and nakedness.
There would have been raiding parties learning military tactics, and they had to go off, get the head of a person from another tribe. So these were dangerous people. They were dangerous to their own people as well. And it was under those conditions that he began to reflect upon himself, his life, and his relationship with God and the other world.
There the Lord opened my understanding to my unbelief, so that, however late, I might become conscious of my failings. Then, remembering my need, I might turn with all my heart to the Lord my God, for it was He who looked after me before I knew Him. Indeed, as a father consoles his son, so He protected me.
He's learning that God is a father he can trust and who wants what's best for him. Then something began in him that was destined to continue.
I tended sheep every day, and I prayed frequently during the day. And more the love of God and the fear of Him grew in me, and my faith was increased and my spirit was quickened, so that in a day I prayed up to 100 times, and almost as many in the night. Indeed, I even remained in the wood and on the mountain to pray. And come hail, rain, or snow, I was up before dawn to pray. The Spirit was fervent in me.
Something new is happening, something that hadn't happened before. That personal relationship, that dimension of a personal relationship with God.
And then he said, one night I heard in my sleep a voice saying to me, "It is well that you fast. Soon you'll go to your own country." And another time the voice said, "See, your ship is ready." So he escaped, goes to the coast, finds a boat where they're putting wolfhounds on it to take to Europe to sell as hunting dogs. And they give him a ride if the dogs will mind him, which they do. The boat is shipwrecked in Gaul, southern France. And then he hitchhikes his way across Europe, gets back to Britain, and sort of uneventful until he turns 40 years old. And he has another dream. He writes in his confession, "In the depth of the night, I saw a man named Victoricus coming as if from Ireland with innumerable letters, and he gave one. And as I was reading, I thought I heard the voice of those who were beside the wood of Folcloth saying, 'Please, holy boy, come and walk among us again.' Their cry pierced to my very heart. I could sleep no more, so I awoke." He took that as a call from God to go back to Druid Ireland, and he has a half dozen monks with him, and they go right into the smoky den of the chieftain and begin to preach the gospel to him in their own language, which he had learned years ago when he was a slave. The Druid priests want to kill him right away because they recognize this is a new religion. And the chieftain said, "Wait, we don't get visitors that often," and he's unarmed. And the chieftain ends up converting and giving Patrick a plot of land where he builds his first church Patrick writes, daily I expect murder, fraud, or captivity, but I fear none of these things because the promises of heaven. And Patrick's trying to convey to them spiritual concepts. And so he uses the three-leaf clover to teach the Trinity. Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, 3 in 1. And so Patrick is credited for baptizing 120,000 people and starting 300 churches. Even the encyclopedia said he found Ireland heathen and left it Christian. And here we are 1,500 years later, still having a day on our calendar to recognize Patrick.
That's the reason to celebrate right there. Quite the missionary.
Well, just a fascinating story of how one person that was in a very pagan culture was able to present the gospel and converted an entire nation, and then affected us even to this day.